A lot of people don't seem to realize the name GoHerping isn't just a random string of letters that happens to sound like an STD. It's an actual term, kind of like going fishing. It's going herping. Herping is an actual word. It's searching for reptiles and amphibians. And that is how I basically built the start of my channel. But it has been 4 years since I last featured a wild reptile until now, because Alice was coming home at like 11 p.m. and was like, there's a snake on the road, I don't know what it is, can you come here? She was driving my car because I was vinyl wrapping hers, and I had to take a one-wheel down the road at midnight to grab him off the road. She had to fend off a few drivers who were just gonna run over it, and I had no idea what it was. I knew it wasn't venomous because luckily I can identify the venomous species, but there's a lot of species in North Carolina, okay? I don't know how to identify them all. I'm also just kind of unintelligent. But yeah, I was like, I don't know what it is. I picked it up. And for some reason he didn't bite me, which was kind of weird because he was acting pretty defensive. Right now he's not even acting that defensive, but it's now morning. He just hung out in a bag overnight. Turns out it's a mud snake, a semi-aquatic species of snake that is very rarely found, especially in this area. They're mostly found in the coastal areas of the East Coast, and I'm in the Piedmont area. It's not too weird, it's expected, but generally you just don't see them that often. And even in all my years of actually herping, I never found a mud snake. And yeah, I couldn't even identify it until I Googled it. Basically, they spend their time in large water sources and pretty much only eat amphibians, not really any rodents here. And it's kind of rare that they actually come out of their little hiding places aside from looking for food. But he was coming across the road, which would kind of make sense if it was raining, but it was not. It was just a clear sunny day. It hasn't rained in a while. I don't know why he was in the middle of the road. The first thing he did when I picked him up was start to stab me with the end of his tail. Turns out that's common. They're not actually big biters. Instead, they choose to stab you with their tail. But their tail is not very pointy, and it's honestly not intimidating at all. And I don't know why he won't just bite me. But no, he's just like, I'm gonna poke you a couple times and then give up. I guess I'm just gonna die, and I am now your prey. But I mean, he's just, I mean, I haven't eaten them. I guess maybe he realizes that already. I don't actually know if it's male or female. They get pretty big. Apparently they've been found up to 6 feet before. He's like 2.5 feet, something like that. And I really just don't understand why they're so bright red. Like, it's kind of an orangey red, but even in some pictures, they're even brighter than this. Why? Why would you? I feel like if he was all black, he'd have better luck doing like everything, not being found by both predators and prey when he's eating or escaping. So kind of quirky. I wouldn't have picked that color scheme, but I guess it's up to him. And this individual one, I mean, it looks healthy from everything I would know about a snake. He's got some marks on his back. I think they're just little scratches, but past that, he looks like he was just like beautifully captive bred. Because normally when I did find wild snakes, they'd at least have a little nick or something, maybe missing a scale, maybe even have something more severe like snake fungus or scale rot. Because I mean, they are outdoors and they are going to experience lots of different things. There's only one decent sized water source around here that I know of that I can guess he came from, and I'm pretty sure it's a public access area, so I'm just gonna bring him over there shortly when I'm done talking about how he has a stupid color scheme. But the part that I thought was funniest is they are also known as the hoop snake, which I didn't know there was a specific species linked to this story. It's a story my grandmother tells me every time I see her for Christmas about the snake that puts its own tail in its mouth and rolls up in a big hoop. It then rolls around like a cartwheel and attacks. But her version of the story is actually from a personal encounter, I think with her father or something, who said he was out fishing or something. All of a sudden, this big snake linked into a hoop, it put its tail in its mouth and it started chasing him, like through the woods. And then once it was close enough, it actually jumped, flailed out, and flew its tail off. It disconnected its tail and shot it like an arrow into him. I cannot verify this story. This one is personally not turned into a hoop for me, but this is the hoop snake, and I think it's very funny. I finally get to see what the story's been all about, and I am truly quaking in my shoes. There's a lot of things I don't know about it, because honestly everything I just told you is things I found on Google, but this is actually one of the brightest snakes I've ever found. I think the only one that beats it is maybe some water snakes, and also rough and smooth green snakes who are bright green, which don't even feel like they should be in North Carolina because they look so exotic. But then there's him, and he's actually really sweet now. He wasn't happy when I picked him up at midnight, but probably because he was going to get his midnight snack like I would from McDonald's. I would be upset if someone stopped me from doing that. So, but I guess he's over his hunger pains and has accepted that he's the reunion of a wild animal. on the channel, the mud snake. Now let's go get him to where he probably should be. The nearest water access point that I thought was accessible is private property, and there was a small lake behind a fire station nearby, so I called them. Their phone line is disconnected. Seems kind of weird for a fire station, but okay. So apparently now we're just gonna walk in 100-degree weather. Apparently there's a creek around here, so. This creek is completely dry. Back we go. Well, in a way, catching this mud snake was just an excuse to ride the board somewhere. But we're now many miles off of any roads, so he probably won't end up back in the same situation. There's a frog as well. I wonder if he'll eat it.